Shine, I'ma shine. I'm not one for wasting time. I'ma make that shit that gon' go have you wait and stand in line. Shine, you gon' shine. Don't you go and waste your time. I know you feeling down, but I know what you got deep inside. Shine, I'ma shine. Shine, I'ma shine. Shine, you gon' shine. Shine, I'ma shine. I'm not one for wasting time.
The best guess. What up, what up? Welcome to Painter Game. My name's Dr. T.
Timo, baby. Back at it again.
What it do? We had a good weekend.
Oh, yeah, definitely a great weekend.
I went to Home Depot, got some patio stuff done. I now realize why you can't just let dads roll free in Home Depot, because I was looking at twine and like hangers and stuff for probably 30 more minutes than I ever need to do in my entire life. And I had to avoid the light bulb aisle. But, we made it.
That's cool.
You had anything going on?
Oh, yeah, we actually, I DJ'd this past weekend for Dennis's wedding. Yeah.
That's right.
So, yeah, it was pretty cool. Everybody had a good time. I was able to play the classics. Got the Little John, you know what I'm saying, the Usher.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, hit him with a lot of the old bangers.
But yeah, that's to you.
Weekend. Yeah, definitely.
So we got a cool introduction today going on. We got what are we gonna show them?
Triceps. Wow, triceps. Yeah. I'm not a bodybuilder, but I'll get there. You'll see the growth. But yeah, so triceps is what we're talking about. So we got a couple movements that we want to kind of like display. I'll display them as Dr. T will kind of talk about it as I go through the motions. We will probably talk about some things that we see in the gym that probably people shouldn't be doing because they're just going to hurt themselves. So.
And if you guys got some questions about it, hit us in the chat and we'll get that.
Yeah, for sure. Anything about
we'll get
triceps.
that as soon as we can.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool.
But we're going to head to a break?
No, go ahead.
Never mind.
Go ahead, sit down.
I lied. All right, I'm out.
Cool. I'll get with the first.
Take it over.
First demonstration. All right, cool. So I was trying to think of the best way to attack triceps.
I'm sitting
Anything
on
audio.
the couch, trying to stay out of the way. Shot.
Yeah, you can just point. That was pretty good. All right, we're back on stream. Perfect. We're good. Good. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. All right, cool. Yeah, so we're going to do bench dips. Bench dips if you go to a gym, but if you have this, you can do this. You have any type of couch or anything with a flat, even, parallel surface, then you can definitely do this workout. So the first thing that we're going to start off in doing is having that surface be to our back. You're probably going to have to go a little bit low on the camera. Cool. Got that down. All right, so the motion is going to be putting your hands on that surface, and then we're going to drop our butt just like you're about to sit down, but guide it with your triceps. Keep your elbows in towards your body as much as possible, and go straight down. Nice and easy. Dr. T, this looking okay?
Absolutely. Good form, staying straight.
Cool.
No overturning.
Yeah, I've seen people go outside. Probably not the best way to do.
Yeah, that's going to be added more like latissimus dorsi, more pec, because you're almost turning into like a push-up type of way.
Oh, okay, I can actually feel it more in my chest too as I do it.
Yeah, so that's just kind of a compensating. Your pec and lat are generally stronger than your tricep anyway, so it should be easier to do with elbow turns
Yeah, so
outside.
keeping it tight in. Yeah, I kind of retract my shoulders back too just to make sure it's nice and locked in. Not trying to move my elbows too much and just kind of rock it there. You should feel it instantly. Cool. That was going to be the first motion that we were going to do. Next one will be incline donkey kicks. This is kind of a new one that I've kind of started using. I feel like it's doing a lot for me, a lot of strength wise. My bench went up, so I feel like it's from doing these. So you're going to get a bench, right? Put it on the incline. Put it on the incline. We're going to lay our chest on the incline. Elbow all the way up, kind of keep the elbow locked in, kind of like how we did the first bench dip, and we're just going to kick back. Boop. Nice and easy.
Good. Same thing, keeping the arms straight back. So your tricep is actually a two-joint mover, is what it's called. Same thing as kind of your big quad that connects to your patella and goes below the kneecap. Your tricep connects up to the scapula, which is your shoulder blade, which helps do a shoulder extension, which is when you like put your arm back down. Show them a shoulder extension when you pull it back.
Oh, just straight all the way back?
Yeah, so just pulling all the way back, so your tricep is partially doing that as well.
I can feel that.
So keeping it tight. That's why if you pull it all the way back, you get a little bit more of a pinch if it stays back like that, because you are shortening it as much as it can.
Yeah, so making sure you get that pure, all the full flex
Yep.
of it all. Well, yeah, I can feel that.
The full contraction.
Cool. Yeah, next one will be easy bar or preacher bar. The bar that looks like this, like a little wiggle. And it's going to be overhead. You could do this seated or you can do it standing. I'm going to do it kneeling for the camera. So again, elbows in. With Dr. T, why are we going to be doing elbows in again?
So elbows in. If your elbows are out, it almost makes it more like a throwing motion. So you have more of an internal rotation, which is it's called your subscapularis, is one of the kind of throwing muscles in there that does that internal
Yeah, I
rotation.
can actually kind of feel that. That's like.
So you might get like a more of a deeper shoulder burn if you do with your elbows out, and you might be like, oh, I feel the burn in the shoulders, but that's not really your tricep. That's
Yeah,
just
exactly what
a
we're
little
trying
bit
to focus
different.
on. Okay, so much more of a compound kind of.
Right, so if your elbows are kind of straight out in front of you, makes one line. You want to. It's called degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom is to make things very like. You have a lot of potential ways to move it, as opposed to keeping it in line where your tricep is straight in front of you. It's just going in one direction. I'm not doing like this. My elbow's not moving in. I'm not moving my hand up. I'm doing a lot of the motion, just a straight line motion, linear motion.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna go right back into elbows in, and then extending all the way up. Right.
Yep.
All right. Cool. And then what about side view? Is that okay, or should I have my elbows still up?
Yeah. So the further up you go, you put the triceps at more of a mechanical disadvantage. So the further stretched out something is, the more difficult it is to use it. That's like when you carry something heavy, you usually have your arms at like 90 degrees, like locked. Your arms are like straight ahead, right? Because that means it's the most mechanical advantage for your biceps because it's at the medium length. So if you really stretch something out and try to use it, that's like trying to keep your elbows really straight. Biceps is just easy for everyone to realize. You keep your arms really straight, it's really hard to lift something heavy until you kind of like swing it up and get it bent, then you can use it. So shortening it all the way, putting your elbow all the way up there, really puts at a mechanical disadvantage. So kind of, it might be harder to lift weight that way, but it's a different like way that you're training your muscle.
Still going all the way up to like where it's completely finishing.
Right. So you're training your muscle at a different angle, which is a good. I mean, if that's what you want to do,
Yeah, no,
that's
exactly.
more an
I think,
appropriate training.
like I always tell people, I think it's always good to just change up different variables in your workout. So angles, grips, you know, always switching that up. So yeah, exactly. Just kind of shocking your muscles in different ways.
Absolutely, that's a good thing.
Cool. Right back up. Cool. Last one we're gonna do is actually probably everybody's seen rope pull downs. It's very effective. I kind of like this one to do towards the end of it. More of my burnout type of workout. So yeah, as you know, you just got a pulley system. Got the rope down. Keep your hands in front. Again, elbows in.
Yeah.
Okay.
For tricep isolation.
Tricep isolation, correct.
We'll talk about afterwards why you would have other arms out, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then simple, straight pull down. I usually go a little bit away from my body. Does that change a lot?
It changes a little bit, but not enough. I mean, you never really want something directly against your body, but it's just like
bringing it too
rope
close.
burn.
You're kind of
Yeah.
using. I think
just-
you're kind of cheating in the sense
yeah.
you're kind of using your body or shoulders more.
Yeah, you can use your shoulder blades to pull a little bit more instead. And,
So yeah, so having it outside.
yep. As long as it's going straight down, try to have. If you're going out in front of you, try to have the bar more directly overhead instead of like 2 feet in front of you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. Okay, I see what you're
And
saying.
that
We were talking about having that rope and that pull should be just parallel with your.
Yeah, you want it as close to parallel with your humerus, which is your upper arm bones, like the bone behind your bicep and tricep. You want that to be kind
the
of
bone.
as parallel with the rope pulling as possible. So you want it to be almost as straight of a line as you can.
Okay.
Obviously, no one's perfect, but like you don't want to be
exactly,
like
yeah.
opposite of it.
Okay, cool. Because you said if we do it straight down, and then if we are pulling in like a 45-degree angle, you can bend over, keep that straight parallel with it, and extend this way.
Yeah.
correct?
Again, more isolated tricep, less degrees of freedom. Again, less room for you to have extraneous like arm movement that's
Okay.
going all around.
Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. Hopefully you guys could use this in your next routine when you hit the gym, or you could do it at your house. There are different ways you could kind of just attack these motions, because necessarily you're just kind of keeping everything extended and stretched out like Dr. T said. So that's our fitness update. All right, then we're gonna cut to commercial real quick as we change camera.
Keep let it go.
Hi.
Let it go. Because you can't just stop everything.
Do you?
Life gonna
Remember
move
us?
anyways. You can try to stop it.
We missed you. And I mean,
Time's gonna go. It's gonna
we know
cycle.
you missed us too. So,
Not like Michael.
anyways,
Warren Jackson, Tyson.
we're back
Jordan.
with a brand new idea.
Now go ahead and get that work like.
Welcome to our home.
Now go ahead
That
and
we
get that
built.
work like.
So,
Whole life gonna cycle.
hi.
Better than Michael. Any Warren Jackson. Keep let it go.
Hi.
All right, and we are back.
All right. Thanks for those. That workout plan. Kanye West, get right for the summer.
Yeah, you need that. Yeah. We're trying to just get you guys right. You know what I'm saying? Just that's the main focus in this. Remember, train with your mind on happiness.
Yeah, and you can do a lot of those in a lot of ways, but that's kind of a nice base to start out with when you're going to start working out. You get this all the time too. You want basic, straightforward ways to do things, and you want to be told what to do. And once you become more of a pro at things, then you can kind of change what you're doing. You can get a little bit more adventurous with things. You can maybe I'm going to try one arm leaned over things instead, but you always want to try out with kind of by the book things to see how you respond to them, and then see what you can do with that. Is that kind of what would you give to someone who's kind of like starting out in a way?
Starting out, definitely, yeah, just kind of normal kind of movements. Nothing that's going to be kind of super challenging, especially around that shoulder joint, especially because if you're holding stuff above your head and kind of behind, like you got to make sure everything's kind of built nice to that weight. So never really going too heavy, for sure. For most beginners, it's more about, just the quality of the actual exercise, getting that full stretch like you mentioned. So I always kind of usually just go lighter weight, especially for smaller muscles, I think. But more weight when you do a bench press, because you're using more muscle, it makes more sense. But yeah, for the more isolated movements for beginners, it would be definitely just lightweight, easy movements, kind of like that. Things that you could probably do at your house. But yeah, that's kind of where I usually stand.
Yeah, very, very easy to do kind of one joint movement things. I'm going to do a tricep press, I'm going to do a bicep curl, I'm going to do a quad kick, I'm going to do a hamstring curl, I'm going to do certain things. So even bench press isn't a beginner motion because you're doing one up and down pull, but I'm bending my elbows and I'm also pushing forward. That would be something that is very high degrees of freedom. You guys have heard me kind of say a couple times. Degrees of freedom is just like, this is one plane. I don't really have too many, I can't really move my arm elsewhere as long as I'm trying to go up and down. If I have my arm out here and we're kind of pushing and it's going up and down like this, then I have a lot of, I can move here and then I can push and I can turn later and I can do all these different things with my arm just to push it forward. And so that's kind of what you want to eliminate if you're just starting out or you're doing any of these trainings that we do. Eliminate as much as you can. Just, I want one thing to do, straight line. And
yeah, I always try to preach that you have to have a clear focus of what you're going to do in the gym too, especially just knowing what you necessarily truly want, which is, I mean, as you get in and you kind of start learning and you kind of like, oh yeah, I could work out my triceps a little more and do a little different things, but like different variations. We were talking I think earlier just about different grips, degrees of changing it up a little bit like that. So
yeah,
that's where the fun part kind of comes in.
That's where you get a little bit more intricate of like why you're doing things. It's all right, I've been working out for a little bit and now I have a lot more experience in doing things and I can doing more bicep curls, but why am I doing this? Why would I do this grip as opposed to this grip, or why would I be changing grips in the middle of it? So that's again later on. I think that's further.
Have you ever had anybody like tear a tricep in your line of work?
So triceps tears are very, very uncommon. Usually if you have someone tear a triceps, it's usually related to either a direct trauma. So I have had one while ago. Pretty good story, actually. Well, I mean, sucks for them, but usually if you have a triceps tear, you're on steroids. It's usually an anabolic steroid and overtraining.
Too much.
It's just not a very terrible... Yeah, it's not like an Achilles. You don't just pop it. Like, you got to be on the juice, basically. But there has been one where we had... I had a guy, and he was pretty ripped. I'm actually slightly convinced he was on steroids anyways, but that wasn't why he popped it. He was out, and this dude's ripped. And so, have you ever heard like a Popeyes sign? If someone like tears their bicep and it just and it comes up and there's just their bicep is just all the way up on their shoulder, that's called a Popeye sign.
Ugh.
So you can actually see their bicep just like curled up like that, how it's all stuck, but it's like their arms fully straight and it's just a ball. It's kind of gross, but they have one for a triceps. It's very uncommon. And he was hiking and he fell backwards onto like his own hiking stick, and it was like a metal pole, and so it kind of hit straight into the back like that onto his arm. It hit right there, and it slashed it, and it popped off. And so he had what was called a Popeye sign for a tricep. So I've seen one of them, and they're super gross.
So the tricep has 3 muscles. So it was just a long head, or how does that work?
He actually hit all 3 of them were ruptured.
Oh man!
So you have your long head.
Yep.
Your medial head and your lateral head. So your long head connects all the way to your shoulder blade, as I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
That's why it's a 2-jointer. So it also pulls back and also it straightens out the elbow. So it works with the elbow, and then it pulls your shoulder back. It helps with it.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You have a bunch of 2-joint muscles all over that you don't even know about. Like your biceps is a 2-joint muscle. In multiple ways. It's like 2.5. Because your bicep helps turn your wrist. So if you do this and you just kind of go from palms down to palms up, feel your bicep, it kind of moves up, doesn't it?
I actually do that. I do that for my bicep curls. Kind of my little finish offer is like, pull up and then twist in and finish that bicep out.
Yeah, so that finishes up. It also does elbow, where it's pull up. And then your bicep actually connects to like your AC joint. Yeah. So right above like your end of your clavicle. And it helps actually lift up your arm up.
You know, it's kind of funny, too, because I was working on my biceps, and I did that one first. And I stopped doing, I started doing, I should say, is that I curl up with the full bar, and then I press up, because I felt like there was more there. Yeah. Would that still, because you're trying to, is that going to help me enough, or does it really matter if I'm pushing up at the end?
Pushing up, your bicep's going to be like less than 10% of your shoulder flexion, so it's not going to help that much, but it does technically do that.
Okay.
So it's not like, I wouldn't recommend it for biceps training, but it's just a shoulder elevator.
Okay.
So cool. it'll help. That'll be like an anterior deltoid and stuff. Like that'll be other muscles that help lift the arm anyways, but bicep does help a little bit. There's a lot of people.
Still is 10%, like you're saying.
Yes.
Just the effectiveness of how that's going to kind of activate that. It's still only 10%. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm basically just turning into a shoulder press anyways.
Yeah. But a lot of people actually have, I have had multiple patients already, actually. We're going to go on a little tangent, but I don't care. Who actually have shoulder pain after benching. And they thought that they had like a pec issue, but they actually had a biceps issue. Because when they were pulling it down, they were pulling their elbows down in front of them, and it pulled back on the bicep. And it was the long head of the bicep actually comes up all the way up to here, and there's a little bit groove right here called your bicipital groove in your humerus, and it rotates over. And so people were getting biceps tendonitis because they were pushing forward like this, but that added like an upward motion. And so a lot of people who have a lot of benching problems, you might have a bicep problem. So
got it.
Try that out. But back to the triceps. You have the long head that connects to the scapula, and then you have the medial and lateral head. So medial is like closer to the midline of the body, and lateral is away from the body. Like lateral stepping, you're stepping to the side, you're kind of stepping
That's
outside.
what always threw me off about the positioning of the bodies during my test. That was
but
I learned that kind of thing. It's like, it's pretty simple.
Anatomical position, palms up, medial is close to the inside, lateral is outside. So you have superior, inside bicep. Superior is above, inferior is below, proximal, distal. And we'll get over that. That could be another bit if you guys want. If you guys have any questions about stuff like that, if I say something that goes kind of over people and I'm just not used to it, like
no,
catch
exactly.
me.
That's why I asked. That's why I definitely
absolutely.
Like, so wait, no, define that. It's the best way to learn. Ask questions.
Yeah. So medial lateral head of your biceps, the 2 underneath ones. That those both connect to the humerus, so those are both one joint movers. That's just the elbow extenders, and they connect to your ulna, which is this elbow.
Okay.
And you have 2 forearm muscles called your radius and your ulna.
Okay.
I remember the radius because you use a million mnemonics, but radius has radius. So RST.
Yeah, I remember that you told me about
radius
that.
straight thumb.
Okay.
And then ulna has a little bit of a little U in it. So your ulna has a little bit of a hook underneath
Oh, okay.
And that's
So that's the
what
best way
comes
to
up.
learn.
Yeah. So
yeah, see, that's what I want to get
has a
really
U.
better at is being able to say that. Right,
Yep.
On the money. So that's definitely. That's like I said. I'm gonna write these down after the show.
Yeah. Olna has a U and RST. Radius on the thumb.
Radius on the thumb. Okay. And then
But anyways.
that's cool.
Yeah. So that's your little triceps breakdown. I believe we have a question in there.
I do have a question.
Nice.
I think this is more directed to you, Timo. How many of these exercises should we do to start out with?
I would definitely start maybe with the bench dips and see how that kind of works out for you. I would want you to go into the easy bar. Maybe that might be a little bit harder, especially if it's probably your first time. I don't know if the viewer, if you give me how much experience you have.
I thought that was the end of the question. I don't know if she will see.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no. So
She has none.
yeah, exactly. For beginners, then yeah, bench dips because again, I feel like that's kind of easy, but it does attack it pretty good. So I feel like that's the best. It's worked for me and my clients for them to get that mind to muscle. Like, oh, these are my triceps. So I kind of use that mostly. For sure, the rope pull downs, that's a good one, especially as you're kind of learning where your triceps are and trying to get that mind to muscle connection and trying to feel it out if you're keeping your elbows too close to your body, or if you're not extending them far enough.
I would say any of the ones staying upright, kind of getting onto a bench and getting sideways and having to start, getting into weird positions to do exercises. It's hard enough to not be able to do, because there's some people like, I know you and I have been like lifted before, and I can't really remember the last time I didn't know how to go to the gym because I was like, even when I was like 12, 13, I had an older brother that came in and like told me how to do a bunch of things. So I don't know what it's like to go like blank slate into a gym.
Yeah.
That's got to be like intimidating.
Yeah, definitely.
And so like I always pick up something, be like, yeah, I'll just get onto the bench and do this and do that. But like I think definitely staying away from like inclines to start, or staying away from, I'm either sitting down, I'm standing up, or I'm laying down. I don't want to get into a weird position. I don't want to have to get my back into an angle while I'm doing it, just because you're probably not super strong core-wise if you're just going to the gym to start out.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but...
especially just straight fresh out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or fresh in, I should say.
Yeah. Because isn't... am I wrong? But I feel like arms isn't like a normal thing. Like a lot of people going to the gym, they'll get a gym membership. I want to go ride the bike. I want to do the Stairmaster. I want to do the elliptical, and I want to get out.
Is
that
wrong? I would say it's probably the easiest route to go.
Okay.
I think I've seen a lot more people go the arm route. It's like I don't necessarily know how to do much other things other than like legs, like squatting. I see, a lot of people when they first get in there, they think cardio. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to squat. Like everybody, supposed to squat. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people just kind of simply know how to move their bicep. I don't know, and that's why I think triceps is a little different, because I don't think a lot of people do hit triceps, and I think it's more beneficial to have nicer arms with the triceps. I think it looks better, me personally. Maybe people might think that bigger bicep looks nice, but I think it really fully rounds out the whole complexion of the arm. What do you think? What would be your favorite part of the arm if you...
Yeah, I think biceps kind of overtrained, but I don't know. Whatever gets you out and moving, in my opinion. I don't really have a particular... It doesn't really help you do much from like my standpoint. No, the biceps.
Oh, bicep. Yeah.
Triceps is a lot of pushing, a lot of things keeping away. It's more of a shoulder stabilizer. I'm more of a rotator cuff guy, so I'm a lot of rotator cuff stuff. That's a lot more important as far as I'm concerned for stability-wise or ripping things. So that kind of makes it for me.
You know who it is? It's the boy, the legend,
Slick Fargo.
Slick Fargo, what's
My man.
happening?
I want a Slick Fargo hat.
Hey man,
Just says, I
I
love
quit
Slick Fargo.
O'Reilly's just for you, and I went on a blank slate.
He's coming back. He's saying, what's one equipment I could buy to do these exercises?
Ooh, I would say dumbbell would be the easiest and safest route.
Getting one adjustable weight dumbbell, and you should be able to do a lot.
Yeah,
we can
definitely.
go over
So
another thing.
What about where's the little thing? Oh shit!
Oh yeah, go grab it. while he's going to grab that, I will say, furniture sliders, most underused thing of all time.
You know what?
I love furniture
Okay,
sliders.
so
My favorite thing in the
I was
world.
kind of like, is this like a, it looks cool kind of thing?
Nah,
or
furniture
nah?
sliders, I'll get you dead using 2 furniture sliders.
See, I like that.
Let me
stuff,
tell
though.
you.
That because I was like, that's
That's
I was
it.
like, ooh, that's kind of innovative, but I don't know if it's just for sure.
No,
But
I
didn't touch into it.
I
You know,
literally
it's
use
like-
furniture sliders
You should
at
put me
work
through, like, a-
for therapy all day.
Yeah.
All day. Arms, legs, you name it. I'll have to take you through one of those so we can get that. I have some, I'll bring them in. But yeah, furniture sliders A1. Just get
Damn, see, I'm
Amazon. It's like $4 for like probably not even $4 for 4 of them, but
Oh yeah, because I would love to know what to do with it that actually works. 'Cause
that'll
like
be
I said,
a next one. I got it.
Let's do
I'll
it.
lead the
Yeah.
next one. I got that
Cool,
furniture
hell yeah.
slider
Just
workout.
put me
We
through the
in.
workout.
So I think Slick wanted a bit of a clarification. You mean like I think with the adjustable dumbbells, it like the Bowflex.
Okay.
I've had heard good reviews about the Bowflex. I actually use the Bowflex kettlebell, and that's adjustable. And actually, that's hired Timo.
Oh, yeah.
To approved.
I'm in for kettlebell stuff. Yeah, just one adjustable weight because you can do one arm at a time,
Yeah,
and it's
actually,
like
I think
cheap to
that-
get going, and you can start out with that. But free weights is always like an easy
Yeah.
start with some free weights.
I always kind of try to tell people if they work out by themselves, it's always probably better to go one arm anyways, because then you can help and support yourself. So I'm gonna take the weights off because you don't have clamps.
Yeah.
But like things that you're doing with even bicep curls, you're able to kind of help and spot yourself, get those last 2 to kind of get a really good burn. So yeah, one adjustable. Don't spend too much.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll help you out through your fitness journey. So always ask the best questions, like Fargo.
Yeah, if you're into it, you can get a full like tonal or Bowflex or something like that. But if you're like, I'm much more bang for my buck type of guy. So I'm kind of just get one adjustable and you can figure it out. They have a lot of ones now that those used to be like hard to come by, but now it's like a dime a dozen to get one of the ones where it goes up to like 40 pounds. And you got like the little turny
it's
ones.
gonna take you a while to get a 40
Like it could like stop every 2.5 weights. Like it gets you all the way to like 5 pounds to like 40 pounds. Like you can find
that's
those.
the other thing too I liked about the kettlebell is because the way that they set it up, they have weights inside of it, so the kettlebell sits
it's
over
like
it like a stack. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh,
so
I'm
then
in.
and they click it, and then you grabs the weights on the bottom. But what I also was doing is when you take it off,
Pick those
pounds.
up. I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm
pick
in.
them up, little do side raises with them and different. So now you're getting a little bit more.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I definitely recommend either the kettlebell. Actually, yeah, kettlebell or dumbbell. Dumbbell, I think, is slightly cheaper, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I feel like the kettlebell you can do. I love kettlebells too.
You
can
know
do a
what?
lot more with
I want to
kettlebells.
learn more about kettlebell too. So you're gonna have to coach me
Bring that
up
in.
on some moving sliders.
Yeah.
Dr. T, what's your favorite kettlebell workout?
My favorite kettlebell workout is called a what's the technical term for it? It's like a cross upright row.
Interesting.
I actually use it. It was my favorite thing to give any of the athletes I worked with, semi-pro, pro. You kind of have like the dumbbell on the outside of one of your legs, and you're in like a squatting position. You squat down and you reach with the opposite arm. So it's on my left side. I'm reaching with my right arm, and I have a straight squat. Reach across, pick it up, and then come back down and set it down. And then you stand back up and you do like a squat and you reach for the other side. Keep your knees straight out in front of you. Keep everything out in front of you. Reach over, pick it up, upright row to the other side of the armpit, and then drop it straight down onto that side. Do the same thing. So you lift up, so it's kind of full body. It's a little bit of a core rotation. It's usually works out pretty good.
Yeah,
you don't need too much of a heavy weight.
That.
Yeah, it's
I
all
love,
one.
I love stuff like that where you're just continuously moving in motion, but you're using different, body parts and changing different directions. It's great.
And I love it's just different, and it's functional, because that's one of the things that everyone can go in. If you want to look good or do whatever, like do cardio, do some bicep curl, like cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's functional. I can lift things. It's a rotator cuff. It's a stabilizer, because you
It's a
have to
lot of
pick it up
core.
and keep it out in front of you. It's core rotation.
Yeah, exactly.
It keeps everything in line.
Mhm.
You have to move with your shoulder blade to keep it back.
And
So
that
I
kind of
love
that's like a
that.
natural movement too. You're like, oh, I gotta grab something's trying to fall real quick, and you kind of reach over, grab it before it hits the ground. So
Yeah.
natural regular motions.
We might be. Can we finagle a? I don't know if we can finagle me trying to do one of those.
Yeah, we could use
Is that a lot to ask? To try
Just
to like, can you get like a shot of me doing
Yeah, I think you
that?
can
Slick
do it.
Fargo's trying to get in. I got you, Slick.
You want a kettlebell?
I can do that, or I can use this. Have you got a kettlebell? Oh, we got kettlebell. We're in.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm in.
Yeah, you could probably do right here in the front.
Yeah.
Kind of good idea. Kind of.
Tell me where to go.
Yeah,
Right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit. That's it. Oh my
Good
god.
buddy.
All right.
45.
We're gonna do this.
So it's on the floor.
45. So it's on the floor.
Okay, here I'll hold it. Two on the floor.
Okay. So it's on this side. Well, go all the way down. Can you just go to my feet?
No, on that one. Oh, does that work?
All right.
Does that work? Can you lift it
This may be.
up and
Doesn't matter.
we'll get
We don't need too much.
There you go. Cool.
So we can kind of see it's on the side. So it's on my left side, and so I'm gonna kind of squat down and grab it with one arm, and lift up. Come up this way. Then I'm gonna set it right back down, like a squat going the other way, and come back up.
Cool.
So I do the same thing. I'm gonna squat down, lift it with this. Try to keep my knees kind of in front of me. So I don't want you turning this way. Trying to turn that way with your hips. Keep everything in line and straight. Coming down, lift up, set it back down. As like a squat.
Like a cross. So exactly
Yeah, it's
crossing
like
over.
a cross snatch that comes all the way down.
Interesting. I like that. That's cool.
I don't recommend with a 45.
Yeah, not a 45. Okay, Slick Fargo.
Stick
We'll
to
get there
like
though.
15s or 10s, but yeah, I love that thing.
Cool. Yeah. I think that's great because I've the only thing I kind of like seen that it was created for Russian soldiers. I think that's what it was. The little history thing I kind of seen.
Oh, I'm in. Russia has a history of like dope stuff. They have something. They invented something that we still call Russian stim. Which this one? Okay, I'm on this one. They have something called Russian stim still. That's called neuromuscular electrical stimulation. And so what they did was they added like electrical pads. You ever had like a TENS unit or like an IFC?
Nah, I've always kind of seen them.
Or like an H wave or something, like the buzzing. You probably had that. But it's like little electrical pads, and they put in, and it's it's the ab things where they put it on. And it,
Oh,
like, makes
you know
your
what?
things.
Yeah, I actually have. I have. My dad actually ended up having it.
Yeah. So what they were doing is when the Olympic weightlifters is they would put these pads on it. They would mimic electrical stimulation to the muscles, and so it would cause them to force a contraction. They would like use it while something else was activating the whole muscle.
So they were using it while they were working out.
Yeah, they were like extra boosting their muscles.
And
to
does
do
it
stuff.
work?
It does wake. We use it not in that way. I think it worked for them, but there was also a big old doping scandal. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I don't know if that was like too kosher or anything.
Yeah, got it.
But yeah, we use the neuromuscular electrical stimulation to kind of reawaken some things after like ACL surgery because you have to
Yeah.
cut nerves and stuff. So it does work. We use it in the clinic, but not to like
For that
Olympic
exactly.
weightlifting. extent.
Interesting. Yeah, because I mean, I've actually seen those. And
yeah.
It's funny. As you guys were setting that up, Slick Fargo actually asked for you like a next week to do like a demonstration of it, and then you guys did it right after. So we said instant example. That's why I come back every week.
Yeah, nah, we
Right
love
there,
you, man.
buddy.
Got you always. Got you. Yeah. So yeah, just let us
We're
know how
in.
your fitness journey is going, and yeah, you can come back for more. Always got you.
Yeah, next week furniture sliders, baby.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm actually pretty excited about
And then
that.
actually somebody else asked, where was that? Can we get an example next week of like some roller stuff for tight muscles?
I'm in.
Oh,
We'll
that's
have to
great.
get like a ground set up because that's where the
We'll
stuff
definitely
go.
plan
We'll
for
add that
for sure.
add that onto the script. Yeah, I'm in. We can.
Yeah.
There's a big misconception though with rolling on IT bands, which I guess I can cover there. But to give a sneak peek, like not all rolling things are good rolling things, but some of it is. We'll leave that on a hanger. That's it. I don't want to get too deep into that, but yeah, we got it. Rolling and furniture sliders.
That's cool.
I'm
I
in.
like that. Yeah, that's great.
Do you have a favorite? What's your favorite kettlebell exercise?
You know, I kind of used the kettlebell. I put it on really, really lightweight, and I was doing the Tai Chi movements with kettlebell
Oh yeah.
because I really liked how it kind of really engaged. I had it really, truly engage my core because most of the stuff is also very, far from my body as I extend. So I was kind of doing a lot of like standing twisting motions. Actually still do those. Those are really great. I felt like that's actually helped a lot. It just just my core strength. Because it's the abs run left to right, correct? Not up and down.
You have multiple you have internal and external obliques, so they kind of run a little bit both ways.
Both ways. Okay, yeah. So that's okay, but maybe that's why. Because I always felt like I only did one direction, just kind of going straight forward.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just using those twist motions. One other one is I kind of just come like it's like I imitate like I'm chopping wood.
Yeah.
So coming around over, extending it, coming back down. That's probably my favorite because I feel like it really does, attack a lot of my shoulders and just a nice cool movement. Oh, I keep hitting this damn thing. My bad. But I think that's kind of the thing. I don't know if there's a name for it.
Well, you have internal and external obliques. Internal, the mnemonic we use is internal was ipsy. So I and I. Ipsilateral means like same side rotation.
Okay.
So ipsilateral, if something on my right side made me turn to the right, it would be an ipsilateral rotation.
Gotcha.
So my internal rotators or my internal obliques on my right side would make me turn right, and my external rotators on my left would make me turn right.
Got
so
it.
it'd be contra. So it'd be opposite. Ipsilateral is same side, contralateral is opposite side.
Interesting.
So when you turn to the right, your right side ipsilateral and your right side intercostal and your left side externocostal, and then when you're turning to the left, it's left side internal, right side external.
Cool.
And so you have both kind of working both ways. That's why if you turn one way to another, it's going to be like you're technically working both sides no matter what, but it's always a little bit here.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. Yeah.
That's it. I'm in for stuff. That was a lot more activity I thought I'd be doing. It's getting warm now.
I know. Yeah, no. You hit the
Not used to
45s
that.
though.
I know.
That's nice. Yeah.
He came out with a 4. I was like, oh my gosh. We don't have to lift it.
We're
Don't
both gonna
worry.
be sweating like Patrick Ewing in the fourth quarter, just dripping.
I'm in. Yeah, thanks for that.
Dr. T, what's the worst injury you've had?
Oof.
The worst injury I've had. I have the scariest one. I guess that would be the worst one. I've had a Jason Witten Supreme.
Jason Witten Supreme. Huh?
So Jason Witten's end of his career, he had a ruptured. He had a lacerated spleen.
Oof. Didn't Tony have something with his?
I think Tony Romo. Didn't he have No, Sam Darnold had mono. I don't know what he had. Did Tony Romo had some? Oh no, he had like a punctured lung, didn't he?
Or some crazy shit. Yeah.
But I had 2 broken ribs, 6 bruised ribs, and a lacerated spleen and kidney that happened at the same time.
Oh man.
That one was terrifying.
But what were you doing?
I was in a football game. I was in high school. I got absolutely obliterated. Caught the ball, got the first down. That's all that matters, folks. That's all we care about.
And you caught the ball.
We don't drop things over here.
Nope.
But
hands team.
Oh yeah, absolutely obliterated. I didn't see it coming and just took me out. That was the first time I've ever been scared in my life.
Just like panic shock, all of it.
Well, it wasn't until I didn't go to the hospital that night because I was stubborn and I'm 17 or 18 or whatever. I thought I was invincible. Yeah.
I'm good.
So I didn't go to the hospital or anything until the next Monday. I think I peed a lot of blood. And I remember texting my mom at 2 a.m. I was like, I just peed a bunch of blood. I'm going back to bed. She didn't like that. But we here and we survived. But we went to the hospital on Monday and went to our podiatrist and they took some blood samples, blah, blah. So we told them and they sent us to emergency room in Oakland. And
that was the only place that could take you.
Fun fact: I was in there as baby number 2, because that's where I was sent for my emergency when I was a twin. I had the cord wrapped around my neck or something like that, so I had to get sent there. Anyways, cool. Yes, I remember
going back home.
Yeah, I went back. It was kind of weird. They were like, "Have you been here before?" I was like, "I don't think so." And when the doctors told me, they're like, "Hey, we might have to take out an organ." Because the spleen and kidney, they're about to take out my kidney and just be like, because if this bursts, it's poisonous. It's not good for you.
I see what you're saying.
And I was like, I've never had to sit there and I'm like, man, they're about to take an organ out of my body.
Yeah,
that's dumb. That's not I don't have a rod you're putting into my arm. I have a whole ass organ leaving me.
You sure?
So, we do have a question because you said that you were playing football at that time. So I got a couple. The first one was, Did you play football in college? I was from Slick Fargo. And then what position did you play when you did play?
I played receiver. I was catching them things, running around. I did not play in college. After that injury, I had the senior year, and I was kind of not decided I was a little bit too fragile. A little bit too fragile for the game of football, and decided to start kind of leading into a medical career. So I started working at the clinic that I'm actually working now. I worked there as like a rehab aide, and I started interning there when I was in high school. And my now coworker was like my mentor at the time as a chiropractor. He worked for the school, Dr. Pono.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so he worked for the school, and he was like our trainer in high school. And so we kind of was like,
Always in contact.
yeah. So he kind of mentored me into it. Knew that football is not in my cards. I'm not going to the NFL anytime. So, yeah,
exactly. He's like, dude, just don't hurt yourself even more.
So yeah, I hung up the cleats a little early, but
Smart move.
It worked out.
Smart
Yeah,
move.
No more hospital trips after that.
Exactly. Especially if you already almost had to take out an organ, then football's probably not.
Yeah, it was not.
It's like organs.
My grandma called and was like, "You're not going to play that anymore, are you?" And I was like, "Whatever you say, Grandma."
Yeah, there you go.
Play like 3 weeks later, but that's okay. We didn't have to tell her. She's okay.
That's good.
But yeah.
Damn. So that's probably super scary, especially being in the hospital and then you're like hearing it like, oh, take my spleen, huh? Or my kidney.
That was the scariest thing. Like, I've torn my hamstring, I've broken my collarbone, I've dislocated fingers, like I've shattered my foot. But
you shattered your foot too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. You've had plenty of injuries.
Broke that thing week before I was supposed to go to Hawaii for a wedding, but that was pretty bad. It was a comminuted fracture. Comminuted fracture means it's in multiple pieces. So my foot bone. So you have your ankle, flag football. So yeah, kind of. The little bone. You have your 2 ankle bones and the bone inside of it that kind of moves. That was in 4 pieces.
Ooh, okay.
But nothing was as scary as them telling they're gonna have to take an organ out of my body. I was like, that's not. I'm good. I'm gonna go to sleep now. But yeah. Have you played football, right?
I guess the only thing I felt like I've ever done was I felt like I tore my hamstring. That's how it felt. So I'm pretty sure it probably happened because I couldn't do a lot of leg stuff for probably a couple years. Like it would always come back.
It just never got healed. Yeah,
it never healed. But now I'm good. It took a while to heal, but I think that was just from me just kind of babysitting it for so many years and kind of taking care of it. But now I'm able to kind of move up weight in the leg department.
Yeah,
which is great.
Hammies are tough. Hammies are always just so sensitive.
Oh man,
so sensitive.
We would, even when we were playing the flag football, all the basketball leagues that we were doing too at that time.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang. Shout out to Wu. It would kind of act up too, but just playing through it. Figured you're bruised and battered up when you get kind of older, anyways.
Yeah.
So,
Still invincible.
Yeah. So yeah, the only thing that I remember asking you was I'm getting a lot of like under my kneecap knee pain, and you're saying that it's more on my quads, right?
Yeah,
more quads.
More. Usually that's due to a lot of people have this thing called. Could be multiple things. There's something that happens a lot called runner's knee.
I could see why.
And it's called
feels like
patellar tendonitis, which any itis is like an inflammation of something.
That's how it feels.
Usually tendonitis is due to overwork or overuse or something that has constant tension on it.
Yeah.
So that could be due to a really tight quad, so it's constantly pulling on it, and so you just imagine just never-ending pull on the top of it, and that's what it kind of is.
I stand a lot for work. Like most of my whole life, I've actually stood up. Would that also play an effect because I'm always on my feet?
Yeah. I mean, it's you can, like how desk workers always have tight hamstring because their legs are always bent the whole time.
So
if you're standing the whole time, then your quad's just tight as hell.
Okay, yeah.
And so you could have a really tight quad just because it's always straight and you don't have a chance to like stretch
Plus
it out.
all the basketball I play and everything else.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Running around. Yeah, so having a tight hamstring mixed with a lot of plyometric stuff like jumping, running, basketball.
So it's just continuously pulling from the quad.
And so it's got a constant pull, and then jumping. A plyometric force is very aggressive on tendons. That's why a lot of sports you have those burst tendons, burst Achilles, burst patella, burst, those things is because that plyometric is very, very tough on those tendons in general. So the muscle might be strong enough to pull it and have that force reaction, but the end result at the end of it is just too much.
So yeah, so the only thing you would recommend me is just either stretching more of my quad.
Stretching more of your quad, or doing. They have like patellar tendon braces that are pretty common now. It's like the one band that goes underneath your knee, and it's like that.
Oh,
That.
oh, can't get on that.
That's fine.
It's all right.
But it's
We'll
like
switch it over
it's the
next.
one band that goes around, like right under your kneecap, and it's just those things. A lot of people have them for like a lot of tennis people wear it.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, I've actually learned that there's a lot of different braces for a bunch of different things.
Yeah. But that would be the only real brace you could do for it. Other than that, you gotta stretch out your quads and even roll that thing out. But
Do you have like if we could switch to the wide shot real quick? Do you? Yeah.
We got followed by Curldom.
Hey, shout out.
Said hey.
Hey, what's up? How's you doing? How you doing?
And Switch Fargo asked, should you wear a knee sleeve regularly? Will it help?
Compression is always good for like just sensation. Like anytime you get hurt or something, like if you fall on your arm or something, you come up and you hold it, right? It's healing enzymes. Why, like if you get cut when you're a kid, you try to suck it out. You don't really know why. Like I don't want to taste this, but
yeah,
I got to get the
But it does
enzymes in
help.
it. So that's a natural reaction to it. So
Interesting.
having natural compression, can help. It's comforting. I preferred to wear like compression shorts and stuff, or like even like just below knee compression shorts. My knees had compression. My older brother wears like a hamstring sleeve, doing
Hamstring
a lot
sleeve?
of things. Yeah, and he
Okay.
likes it. He's had hamstrings issues before. He hasn't had a history of it, but he just wears it because it makes him feel safe.
If it works.
So I would never say no to a sleeve. Technically, is it good? Like,
Is there like a certain time limit you should have it on and off, or
No,
just doesn't
not-
matter about how long you kind of keep that thing on?
not on compression. That's more for like ankle braces if they have like the figure 8 ones. If you wear an ankle brace or something that supports you for too long, then you'll lose the muscles that are designed to support you. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I got you.
So you're taking away from strengthening the muscles that do that.
Kind of
But
balance ankle wise. You're
Yeah.
saying for the ankle, correct?
but even like for knee stuff too. So but like a sleeve isn't going to necessarily, it'll give you compression support, but it's not going to, like an ankle brace will literally stop you from rolling your ankle. A knee sleeve isn't going to stop you from blowing anything out. So technically it's not going to stop you, but it would make you feel more comfortable, and it would have like just more of a lasting effect. I know people who swear, even patients are like, yeah, I wear these compression socks. I'm like, you got those at Costco for like $2. Do they do anything? No, but you think they do.
So
So they do.
how
And
do you feel-
any type of compression is going to be good.
Okay, so good to wear the sleeves then.
Yeah, I would recommend it. If you got it or you want to try out, do it.
How about while exercising? Is got a question here.
While exercising is, again, technically, compression is always good to an extent. Obviously, too tight is bad.
Yeah.
So as long as it's like a comfortable, it's a squeeze. It's like spandex. Like I love spandex whenever, if I work out or like do any like sport, any type of like recreational sports league or anything, like go for it. Wear the Under Armour compression shirt, wear the like knee sleeves, wear like the like compression socks. Do it. I'm all in.
I was gonna actually also ask, what's your take on actual like your the Dr. Scholl's like foot pads and stuff like that? Do you recommend them, or something like it's kind of one of those things if you feel it works for you, use them kind of thing?
So the thing with those foot pads, I have a large opinion on them because they are often overprescribed. For instance, I had a patient recently. It just discharged him actually like a month ago. He's doing great. He's worked out, but
cool.
he had this heel pain that was I don't remember how long it was lasting, but it was lasting like a few weeks. And he went to a podiatrist, and a podiatrist prescribed him this like orthotic that was a heel lift. So it puts your heel up a little bit higher.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And so it solved his heel pain, but he solved his heel pain because the original reason for his pain was his calf was too tight. So the problem is he just shortened his calf even more to take the pressure off of it. But after 2 more weeks, it got tighter again, and he had even more severe heel problems. So then he came to me and he was like, hey, I have these things this is why my calves hurt. And I was like, oh, well, we got big issues. Anyways, we had to do a lot of like elbow grease into the calves, and we got it. He's fine now. But the moral of that story is like a lot of people go to it and just be like, oh, it makes me feel better. I think it's going to work. And a lot of messing with the feet is really, really touchy because it can mess with your knees. It can mess with your hips. It can mess with your back. Too much of an arch, too little of an arch. Like things are very, very touchy. So I'm not a big fan of getting
things for your feet necessarily.
Yeah, unless you know someone or there's a reason for it. And I get the Dr. Scholl's have like the pressure pads, and I don't know how good or bad those are, to be honest. I haven't done my research on that, so I think those are fine. If you do like the Dr. Scholl, the weighted one, and it'll tell you where it's dispersed, I think those are fine. And those can help. But if I start doing that and then a month later I have knee problems, I might be like, I
see what you're so it's going to see kind of play by how it kind of works out for you day to day.
But that's where it is. If you have it prescribed, obviously take it. Like they probably know more about anything, and if you have other problems that arise from it, I'm sure those were a long time coming from what it is. But if you're just going out yourself, be careful. You can try things, and if you're like been told I have a high arch or whatever, then you can get like arch support or whatever it is. As long as you've already been told by like real people, you know what I'm saying?
Being flat-footed too is actually a thing.
But like difficult. That's again, if you're told you have that by doctors, and like you aren't just looking at your feet like, oh, my feet look weird. Like make sure it's like prescribed. Make sure someone knows what they're doing when they're telling you that, because that can be like very, very bad. If you get the wrong orthotics, could just like set you in a spiral.
Yep.
I have a question for you, Dr. T. People want to know, we heard that there was rumors that Emo was going to train for a 5K. People want to know if you're going to join him and run it on stream.
Run it in the 5K. Oh my
5K,
gosh.
it's not that far. It's not that far.
Oh man.
It's in San Francisco. It's you got.
When is?
Hey man, thanks for the follow. Hey, shout out, man. Thank you for watching.
When is this 5K?
July 23rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, end of July. It's only 3 miles, 3.1 miles.
I think I can.
And it's pretty cool. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm gonna have like a nice little setup.
All right.
Over there, and then we're gonna run the 5K first, and then we're gonna hop on the trolley and go towards the end where they do the big, kind of end event for the ultra.
Okay,
I think it's pretty. It's pretty.
I think I can do a chill 5K.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Painter Gain. We're gonna have T-shirts. Man. Painter Gain.
Yeah, find us. Ooh.
Yeah,
all right.
It's only 3 miles.
I'm gonna regret that.
3 miles. I mean, look.
Live stream will be lit, so you gotta do it.
All right. I'm in.
You got to say only if Butters does it too.
Oh, Butters joining us on the 5K too?
Let's go.
All right, 5K.
I feel like an a-hole now. How long it took me to answer that after it was so quick. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right,
well, that. Cool. Yeah. So we got a month, boys. We'll try to.
I'm sweating even more now.
yeah. Because I've never done one. I've never done a marathon or anything like that.
3 miles isn't too bad. Everyone should be able to run 3 miles.
Yeah, if we even walk at 3 miles. 3 miles.
Yeah, it's not
just
that
a nice, cool little jog. Us three, nice, cool little jog. 40 sunny day.
Whoa, 45 minutes for 3 miles? Oh my God, no! I hope I run at least that. That thing better be done in 30 minutes. That thing better be done in 30 minutes, man.
Yeah.
Walk that in 45 minutes.
You can do it. You just get a nice little jog. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm in. Hey.
It's cool. I'll carry you to the end.
Sold. My mom walks like a 14-minute mile. You know that, right, Butters?
Yeah, you can do that.
My mom walks a 14-minute mile. She will smoke you. Smoke me too, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Do you recommend any specific kind of shoes or support for walking?
Asics. Love Asics.
Really?
Most comfortable pair of shoes I've ever had were Asics. I've had Nikes, Adidas, all that. Love and support all things Asics.
You know, the new shoe that I've seen is, I think it's Kova or something like that. A lot of people are getting that one. I don't know. I can't remember the name. Maybe I botched it, but I just seen a lot of that one. It starts with a K, but anyways.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Kubo or something?
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I've heard those are super. I heard they're super soft.
Producers in the room.
What?
The shoe.
It's like
shoe brand. It starts with the K. Koba.
Kubo.
Not in K-Swiss?
Yeah. Some running shoes by K-Swiss.
I used to have some.
You know what I'm saying?
Hoka? That's what
Hoka. Yeah. Slick coming in hot. Yeah, it's Hoka. The Hoka shoes. Yes.
Oh,
100%.
Hoka. There you
Hoka.
go. Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I knew it was something like 4 letters or some shit.
Hey, Baby Yoda Gaming. The only place I'm jogging to also is to get a beer immediately afterwards. Like,
No, that's what I'm saying. Look, we do 3 miles, 30 minutes, and then we hop on the trolley, and
We
there's
get
gonna be
some-
like
okay.
beers.
I'm
there's
in.
gonna be a whole
Get
it's
me
a
out
whole
of the
vibe.
house.
And I'm gonna get Airbnb, so we'll have a place to kind of hang out and chill. And
I'm in.
Yeah.
All right.
Do
All
a
right.
post-race painter game.
well, we could do the race and then do it after. We should do it like we're interviewing each other. We could do that. Yeah. We'll do
So
a
here's
live
the
stream.
furniture sliders.
The roller comes in handy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Slick Fargo, the Hoka shoes and crap. My mom Rykas. Rykas are really good, also very expensive. RYKA, I believe.
Running shoes are pretty expensive though, but there's
Yeah,
a reason.
that's
'cause
why I'm
it's
telling you,
It's the wear and
Asics,
tear.
dog.
That's the biggest thing about it. If you're
Asics.
really wearing them all the time and always going through runs and stuff like that, the wear and tear on them.
You're
and stuff.
supposed. What's the? Isn't it? It's like 500 miles is like what you're supposed to wear on a shoe. I've never
I
followed
don't
that
know.
for my life, but I know that's like a thing
Um,
runners do. I had a
can
runner
only,
roommate.
I can only speak on like I don't know how many miles I run, but for how long I could keep basketball shoes. That's probably my only thing I could talk
Right?
about because that's all I run with is basketball shoes. They're a little heavier and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that, but I mean,
The ankle support though, you got what you need.
Yeah, exactly. Even on the treadmill.
Yeah, Ryka's also really good, but I'm all about, you know me, I'm frugal. I'm cheap. So I need the bang for the buck. Yeah, the
That's
Asics.
a Baby Yoda game. He came through with the second account and followed you guys again.
Oh, that's what's
Double
up,
we haven't
man.
had that before. It's the first double.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. That's our guy.
I'm not even
man.
mad. That's
Baby
amazing.
Yoda Gaming, man. That's awesome.
But yeah, anyways, Asics.
Asics.
Support Asics 100%. Love Asics. So comfy and good for like getting some mileage out of.
You know, now that it's summertime and it's hot, people outside, they're sweating. You know, how much water should somebody drink a day to stay hydrated?
I think it's by weight is the best way to kind of get a estimate. And also, it also depends on how much, you're working out.
Reminds me.
Yeah, speaking of water. But yeah, it all depends how active you are.
I want to say 16 cups. That sounds way too little though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like kind of by weight because, depending how big you are.
Yeah, like
I
I'm drinking
usually-
a lot more water than Sarah. You know what I'm saying?
Just on point for sure.
doubling my water intake compared to her. She has no idea. Don't worry about it. I think
Yeah,
I think-
because they say 8 glasses. They say, or go ahead.
Some people
Oh, sorry.
say things like, there's health benefits to put in like some water or some lime or
like
some
cucumbers
lemon.
and stuff.
Yeah, is that true? Is that in fact
So,
a fact?
cucumbers. So, best hangover food actually. If you're waking up in the morning or hungover, cucumbers. Them things got amino acids. They got large amount of water in them.
Yeah.
And then when your body takes it, it goes through the whole system and it has to absorb it, but it absorbs mostly water out of it. So a lot of time your water gets like shoved down and filtered pretty quickly, but because it's with the other like fiber and stuff in a cucumber, it gets digested easier. And so it goes through and it gets further through the system because it starts taking it further down into your intestines and stuff. And so cucumbers are great for hydration, for amino acid stuff, for hangovers. Cucumbers.
Yeah.
Good to put that in water. I mean, the amount that it would get into your water from just putting it in there is like not a lot, to be honest. But like, it's like negligible to put it into your stuff. But you should, if it's in your water, you should probably eat it. It'll just make it taste a little bit better, I guess.
I try to always trying to remind myself to drink more water because I'm really active, so
Yeah.
I'm always moving around doing something. So I kind of previously I haven't done it in a long time, but I would just put a timer.
Yeah.
Just kind of remind me to drink water. You know what I'm saying? It would always probably be like maybe 6 ounces, 8 ounces, real quick, boom, boom, boom. But I felt like by just kind of having that mental note to drink water, I was able to feel like I hit my daily intake.
Yeah, I feel like I have to force myself to drink water a lot because it's a little different, I guess. I mean, I'm wearing a mask all day at work, so I still, and that's really deterred a lot of the water drinking because I can't just sit there and like grab like my hydro flask and go just take a drink as I'm like talking to someone. Like I have to put my mask down, I have to like look away, I have to open up my thing, and I have to take a drink out of it. I don't really want a straw poking up everywhere for all the COVID. It just doesn't look good to have it out in public and stuff. So it's keep it in the corner and like put it down. So yeah, my water intake is gone. I definitely have to force myself to drink a lot of water now. But
Yeah, I mean, because even if you kind of take a quick chug, in a sense, you're still getting 6 ounces.
Yeah,
least, you know
but you have to like. How often are you like, man? I just need a chug. I need 6 cups of water right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just a whole mouthful of water.
Yeah, you got to get it good. But you still have to think about it. That's what I'm saying. It's much
exactly.
more. It's not like, oh man, I drank this whole cup of water today.
I don't think your brain clicks into like, oh, I'm thirsty. It's only until you know for sure you haven't had water like all day, and then you're like
that. I remember that was a thing to carry around the campus. Was like you had, especially baseball players. Is that just like a Milpitas High thing? I remember seeing a whole bunch of the baseball players just carry around jugs.
I think
like what are you doing with that, dog? Like,
so Slick Fargo actually asked, is a gallon enough, or is that?
You should be having more than a gallon a day technically, but the thing is, what people don't account for is when you're eating things, they also have water too. Mm-hmm. So you're still getting water from things, like a lot of fruits, a lot of veggies have a lot of water in them. So you technically don't need to fill up like, I need whatever it is. Let's say it's a gallon and a half a day. You don't need to go through a literal gallon and a half of a jug of water to meet that criteria. Like you're getting water eating things all day. And so it's not bad for you.
But is that like probably a good goal?
Sure. I would say that's a good goal.
Try to get a gallon in.
Absolutely.
Okay,
if you can hit that on a daily basis, like you're doing good.
Yeah, that's why I felt like you have to have a timer, because you're probably like I said, I don't think your brain clicks that you're thirsty. So that's why having the timer, you're able to kind of like, all right, cool, I could get this amount and this amount.
Yeah, you don't really realize like how much better you feel hydrated.
Oh man,
because you like wake up and you're like, I just had like a drink of water like an hour ago. How come I'm like, what do you mean? I have water in my system, but it's like you genuinely. When I'm hydrated, like I feel better.
Oh yeah,
and it's noticeable.
Yeah, there's one thing that I remember from even being like 10% dehydrated can affect so much things.
Yeah,
just mentally, physically. So yeah, staying hydrated is super important. I definitely learned that too. Now that I do double days, that I could definitely tell from my workout if I don't have enough either carbs or I'm not hydrated enough. I don't have enough water to kind of get me through.
Yeah.
Which is really hard.
Because the other thing that people don't realize is how much you like lose water throughout the day too. Like even if you're just walking around, like you sweat constantly and it just like dissipates off your body. Like everyone's sweating all the time at all points. So like you do need to, I think a gallon, to get back to the point, gallon of water. Yes. Way to go.
Cool.
Actually for Dr. T, what is the science behind like if you have a headache and sometimes I just drink some water and they'll feel better? What's the science behind dehydration and a headache?
So dehydration and a headache could be as a result of like either blood volume or I'm going to need to double check to be 100% sure on this, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the blood volume and just not having enough in your system to roll through. And I know that sounds dumb, but not having enough blood volume creates like it makes your blood thicker in a way, and your body's really sensitive to changes like that. And so when your blood is thicker, it's harder to go through and get in, and then it'll just clog things up isn't the right word. I don't have a perfect explanation for you right now. I need to kind of look more into it, but it has something to do with blood volume and total just fluid volume in your body, because you have different things, many different things in your body that require fluid. You have your blood.
Yep.
You have the lymph, which is just like stuff. When you have like random swelling in your body, that's also water, and that's fluid that needs to go somewhere. You have something called CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, which is between your spine and into your brain.
Oh, interesting.
And so if you have a lack of that, a change in pressure in that cerebrospinal fluid is huge.
Oh.
Any change in pressure, massive. And so your body can sense that, and that's one of the main reasons. It's just like total fluid volume in your body changes a lot, and it gets to like a point to where almost like diabetic, feeling like hypoglycemic and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like your alarm, like, hey, do something.
Hey, dude.
Yeah, so it's kind of like an alarm
It's like a
system
trigger,
in
like a
your
little
bread.
trigger.
Yeah, you have little barometers, you have little pressure sensors, and I'm
That's one of
fairly
those things.
certain that's one of the reactions that happens is you have decreased blood volume and decreased spinal fluid volume.
So
and
something's
stuff.
there that's trying to tell you something exactly.
Yeah, and water's pretty like easily transferred through the body, through your system, as long as it knows where to go. So to get deep into like muscles and organs and stuff is gonna be a little different.
Yeah,
but if it just
I,
has to go straight out into the fluid area,
This
it's
kind of
better.
goes into what I actually had somebody, actually I noticed one of my friends, she kind of asked a question, or she said that, she was getting headaches when she was working out. And you kind of touched up on that as well a little bit. But is it kind of more of the same reason as she was working out? It's just maybe it could be from just staying hydrated or just too low on, pressure changes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because she said that she was like, well, she didn't say she almost fainted, but it was just more of that she gets like a super bad migraine.
With pressure changes and stuff, yeah.
Well, yeah, when she was working out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember?
You were
Yeah.
way over my head. Yeah. So that could be working out. There could also be a breathing problem.
Ooh.
So what that also could be is it's called a Valsalva maneuver. If you like, I'm trying to think of the most appropriate way to say this, but like being constipated, like pushing something, increasing it's called your inner thoracic pressure. When you're doing you're lifting really hard, and you're like, ugh!
You're just
doing one of those.
bracing it?
Yeah, and you're
bracing your whole
squeezing
diaphragm
really
and
hard.
everything. And,
And so if you're not breathing, you cause an increase of pressure. And that pressure, when you keep squeezing your diaphragm and it pushes it somewhere, where's it going to go? That's why you can get headaches. You can burst blood vessels in your eyes. It's a very common place for it to happen. And so what you could do is change that intracranial pressure, and that could cause a whole number of problems, including potential migraines.
Yeah,
and
actually
stuff.
worked out with somebody before, and they actually popped a blood vessel.
Yeah.
And I wasn't necessarily sure how that was going to happen or how that happened, but
Where was it, in like their eye, or?
it was actually in their bicep.
Oh.
It was in their bicep. They were just like, and I kind of, and this person I always tell like, hey, don't go too heavy, like just don't go too heavy. But this person just insists that, oh, no, I got it kind of mentality, which is okay to kind of have in the gym. But again, when you're not doing the workout correctly and you're trying to go heavier, it makes no sense whatsoever to go heavier, right? But it must have been because it was probably just too heavy. He just held his breath and popped a blood vessel. Now it all makes sense because I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure how it was possible because I've never seen it before in my life, and it's actually happened.
And so it could.
It was funny though because
was there like bruising around it?
Oh,
or,
that's what I'm
like-
saying. So I saw it. I saw it.
He might have like strained his bicep instead.
But yes, so it's strained.
Yeah, he might have. Usually, if you have that bruising around a muscle like that, it's literally like you pulled a muscle.
Oh.
So that was most likely
probably
a
from
strained
because
bicep.
strained bicep because the weight was too heavy, and he should have listened to me. Is what you're telling me?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
what I'm
he
getting
probably
from this
should have
story.
listened to a professional telling him, "Hey, it's probably not good to go heavy, but I got this."
We have a question. Actually, now that you say that, what's the worst injury you've ever seen in the gym?
In the gym, actually, it wasn't an injury, but I guess it was an injury, but it wasn't. It was more that the carelessness of what he was trying to do or how it was going. Like he tripped and fell, and he cut his side of his head.
Was it like walking through?
It was actually one of my first weeks at City Sports when I was working. Now that I think about it, yeah, it was like kid was doing something. I don't know what he was doing, but he wasn't paying attention. Tripped and literally just cut his whole just side of his head, and the ambulance came. And yeah, that was kind of gruesome a little bit because he had a real big cut just all the way across.
Gnarly. And heads bleed a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Heads
they had to
bleed a
come
lot.
quick, and yeah, it was like okay, but it was just more of just carelessness of especially when he was a younger kid, and he was a younger kid, and you're in there with your buddies and stuff like that. But actually, the gym is actually pretty a dangerous place. A lot of people can hurt you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's like, you could definitely hurt yourself so bad. And actually, now that I know, you could strain your bicep just by going too heavy and not breathing correctly. Oh wait, those are just the fundamentals. So yes, nobody ever, breathing.
Don't hold your breath, please.
Don't hold your breath.
You need to breathe. If you learn one thing from us ever, please breathe.
Breathe, yeah. Don't hold it all the way in for the force. Because I've heard a couple things like that. It is good to kind of hold your breath, but especially when you're kind of lifting, because you're able to kind of.
It's a diaphragm brace, but you want to be able to. So the reason they do that is to get what's called your transverse abdominis.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's the TRA is it's like a corset,
wrap,
I guess.
Yeah, that's
like
a wrap.
Your corset human, but it's underneath your abdomen, and that along with your diaphragm cause like core strength. And so when that's used, if you hold your breath too, that's why you see a lot of people like breathe out while they're doing it, because they are having this increase in pressure, but as you release, the lungs kind of replace that pressure, and so it doesn't build up elsewhere. So that's why people will breathe out when they're doing something.
Okay, yeah, because I'm actually I haven't learned too much. I've actually just started this book, and it's all about breathing and just the proper ways to breathe, because I always believe that it's super important to breathe as you work out. And I think I always believed that there was a way to do it. I'm trying to find that way. That's kind of something I'm kind of like trying to tap into as I'm kind of learning just more health and fitness type of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, okay. So but like that, they were kind of describing that is like when you're bracing or when you're doing certain things, and holding your diaphragm. It's like you usually just naturally do that, because like if you try to push like a refrigerator or something like that, you're gonna naturally just kind of brace yourself and try to push forward and kind of get your.
But you want to be able to activate that postural muscle, I guess, because I use it all the time. One of my main, if I ever have a back or like a core, or even like hip stability or something like that, I always get them to activate their TRA without like holding their breath, and that's just, it's easier to, when you hold your breath, to just tighten everything up, but to be able to isolate it and use it as you're picking things up, it's a little bit better. But I'm sure there's a lot more breathing about it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's a good transfer of like how you're saying, like you could brace for a little bit, but then there's a key point to where you kind of exhale and kind of go back. Yeah.
So I'm sure you probably know, you're going to know more about breathing than I will whenever you're done with that. So I don't.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's like something not really talked about, but even when you're kind of, I got the idea when I was kind of going through Tai Chi, and it's all about breathing and knowing how to breathe and kind of controlling yourself. And I felt like, oh man, this is kind of cool. So I wanted to go more into it.
A lot of ancient like medical practices have things to do about breathing, and so I'm sure there's some kind of behind it, but there's no like proven, maybe there is proven science, I just don't know, or they're not teaching us in school or whatever, but like studying breathing, like having statistical analysis on that would be huge. I'm sure that's going to be a nice wave coming in of stuff like that happening.
I heard about this one guy, I don't know, maybe I think it was a couple years back, DJ, there was this guy that Akaika was talking about, that he had a whole bunch of different techniques to breathe, and he would dive underneath like an Arctic water. Do you remember the guy's name?
I don't remember his name, but I remember the story.
The story, because he said he had a whole bunch of different type of breathing techniques as he's kind of going underneath water and swimming and submerging later, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, well the guy that Chris Angel? No.
Who's
David Blaine? Yeah, there was actually a pretty cool documentary on it of David Blaine training to do his like hold under breath water, and his like progression to it. And he started at like 40 seconds or whatever. Oh crap! We watched it in my neuroscience class. We watched that as like a grad school documentary that we need to learn about.
Okay,
because that was a big that's a really good. It's only like 5 minutes too. It's not that long.
Really,
but it's dope. Yeah.
Yeah. So the book actually also has a training regimen on how to breathe better. So that's another reason why I wanted to get it, is because there was still something that I could apply. It's not just learning necessarily the basics. So they're already kind of teaching me. The first thing that they talk about is how to fill up your belly and breathe through filling up your belly rather than filling up your top of your chest, because they said that we're born differently than how we breathe. Or we breathe when we're born, we breathe in a different way than we do now as we grow up, just because it's just kind of how our body forms, and we're using secondary air pathways when we should be using what we were born with. But it just kind of happens naturally. Can't remember exactly why but it's just been really cool to kind of like, okay, like just even that little belly exercise that they kind of had, like, you know, just
diaphragmatic breathing as opposed to rib breathing. That makes sense.
So it's pretty interesting, and I'll keep you guys updated on that.
Yeah, the only real breathing that I guess I am technically allowed to teach breathing, but it's always like COPD related or like asthma related or emphysema related or cystic fibrosis or something like that, where you have like buildup and they're taught to basically expel like mucus secretions, basically like huffing and things like that. But yeah, I don't know too much about like healthy breathing. That's pretty cool.
It's actually funny because you know, we were talking about like, oh, have you ever broken anything or anything like that? I actually fractured my nose.
Oh, you broke a nose.
Yeah, because I was.
Did you have to get a reset? Do the
dude? So the story is probably one of the better stories of my life. Is that I was like maybe 13, 14, and we were playing in the backyard at my cousin's house, and they had a swimming pool, and I dove in the pool, and as I dove into the pool, I thought I was on the surface. Because I would always just kind of go flat with the thing, but I guess I was a little bit too low, and I pushed out with the thing, and I hit the corner to right where the pool kind of starts inclining to like 3 feet. So I jumped on the thing, and I literally just went boom, and I just hit it
dove
just.
Into the short end.
Ouch! Hey man, I had hops, and I just said, yeah. I thought it was a torpedo. Yeah, torpedo straight to the forefoot. I guess the incline was just so quick that I was going at a different angle. And I pushed, boom, and
at least it was kind of slanted.
Yeah, so you can kind of see it a little bit, boom. I don't know if the cameras could get. You can't really zoom, but yeah, so it's a little fractured. But the story gets even better because, so my whole life I couldn't really breathe out of my right
nostril. Do you have like a deviated septum?
I never found out, because the only way I found out is we went in high school. But the thing was, I was bleeding. It was cut, but you know, Mexican culture, usually it's
Whatever.
like, put a Band-Aid on it, you're good. And that's what my aunt did. She was like,
Baking
you're
soda or
good,
something.
here's cool. Because I mean, even when I was a kid, I had got nails through my foot just because, you know, my family was always doing construction on the house or something like that. So even as a kid, it was like, put a Band-Aid on the bottom of your foot and on the top, you're good. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it doesn't turn into gangrene or whatever. Hopefully you see how it goes. Until it does that, we're not going to take you to emergency room. Emergency room's expensive. So that was kind of the ordeal with that. But then recently, maybe 6 months, 7 months ago, probably like 4 months ago. Actually, this year, I was playing basketball, and I was underneath the hoop. And usually, I don't try to go do too much underneath the hoop. And the guy got a rebound. He got his own offensive rebound. Shot it again, missed it. Shot it again, missed it. And on the third one, he decided to kind of pull his elbows down, and so he could jump back up. And I was just right underneath his elbow. So when he put his elbow down, straight down, it hit my top of my nose, and I actually chipped my tooth.
Yeah.
Because he went straight down on it, and it just made me just clamp down. But the funny part is that he realigned it.
Your nose?
As my nose. I could
Now you
actually
can
start.
breathe better?
I could breathe better on
Let's
my
go.
left nostril. I got a chipped tooth.
Which would you prefer, chipped tooth?
No, I could breathe. I'm like,
chipped tooth or
no, I wanted my nose straight forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, who am I now?
Would you rather have a
Sheesh.
full tooth or be able to breathe halfway out?
Yeah,
your
no, I like
nose?
the chip tooth because I tell people I play hockey. That's my new thing. You know what I'm saying?
I was the Sharks' emergency goalie for like a game.
San Jose Barracudas. I'm not that good at, you know, I didn't make it to the pros, but I played for the Barracudas.
All right. Well,
yeah,
I think that's all the time we have for us tonight. Thanks for chat. Was lively.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to be a fun
Slick
look
Fargo,
over.
shout out. What was it? Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda 1 and 2.
1 and 2, our guy, man. Yeah, and everybody else who was watching the stream came along.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. We will be back next week roughly around the same time. And then always Monday for you guys. We will get into the moving sliders.
Furniture sliders.
Oh, furniture sliders.
We'll do furniture sliders and rolling next week for
and
sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
Send in any questions you want on the Instagram. It's been posted up throughout that.
Yeah, definitely.
Hit us with those
Hit the
questions,
links.
and especially if we get those early on, we'll be sure to answer those in a timely manner.
Cool. Yep. My
Other
name is
than
Timo.
My name's Dr. T. Thanks for joining us. It's been Pain or Gain.
Bang.